Hi, so this is going to be my second video. My last video we talked about how gender and certain social norms, and now this time I'm going to be talking about how certain bodies and gender reflects on sexual desires and what is exactly a social norm of that, what's improper, what's proper, power, sex offenders, everything about like that. So I'm going to be referring mostly to the article by Ruben Gale that we had to read. It kind of went over different proper, improper ways, sexual offenders, how there's power within sexual desires, what are sexual desires, and everything like that. So to start, I want to talk about what a proper sexual desire that has been known in our society. Proper sexual desires are mostly heterosexual, between a man and a woman. Vaginal intercourse usually happens with marriage and has an intent of producing an offspring. Sorry. That's kind of what our society has been told is proper, what should happen, and anything outside of that is completely wrong. So if we go to improper, good examples are homosexuals, porn, objects used, anytime that's not between a man and a woman in vaginal intercourse, as in, hate to say it, but anal, that type of stuff. And it's kind of what our society has put onto us that anything outside is improper and should not be done, which I believe is not right. Why can't we show how we want to show those desires that we have? Sexual desires are something that everyone feels. Everyone loves sex. We gotta admit it that sex feels good, and you want to do it in a way that feels good to you. That might not be between a man and a woman for everyone. There's homosexuals, there's gay, there's lesbians, there's bisexuals, transgenders, everything. They all show their sexual desires what feels good to them. Why should they be judged on that? Sex is something that everyone deals with. We were born with it. We were born with that desire to have, and everyone should be able to put it out how they want to. You can go to how power gives people that engage in proper sex power over people that do not engage in proper sex. This can also relate to my last video with the gender, that men have more power than women over sex. I'm going to kind of give a personal example from this. I was always brought up of being, you let the man initiate sex, you don't initiate sex. The man is the one that does it, and you shouldn't show your sexual desires. That has actually been hurting my relationship right now because my boyfriend doesn't see it the same way. He believes that a woman should also, if she wants sex, she needs to initiate it. It shouldn't always be the man doing that, which also leads to the society that shows that women shouldn't do that. And women who desire sex and show they want sex are improper. It's against the norm. They're unworthy. They're considered sluts, promiscuous, and not a social norm. And that comes with the power that they feel that men have power over them as well. We can look at the article of Gail Rubin and how she talks about pornography and how women have less power over men in that, and it's shown very much in pornography. You mostly see the men taking control. The women are forced to do what the man wants. You see many men with one woman. It's just all related to how the power over that is kind of a norm as well. Women who also that have those sexual desires and show that are not considered a sex offender per se, but it's more of a promiscuous way that is not okay for women to do that. Well, now let's go to that sex offender that you you see all the time in the news of how men rape women, child pornography, all that. It's mostly men. But if a woman does it, it's not shown. Why? It's the same thing. Just because a woman does it doesn't make it okay. Men do not have that power that they have over to do that to other people. A man rapes a woman and she wasn't consent, but it also can happen where a woman rapes a man and he doesn't consent to that. It's the same idea, but it's just not looked at the same, which that's one thing I don't understand exactly why it's not looked at the same. It's still the same thing, and yeah. In the 50s, it shows how sex offenders were also considered homosexuals, which I understand the 50s was a different time era than now, but we still haven't gotten away from that society that believes certain things that are improper and out of the norm are not proper, or are proper, sorry. We should be able to show our sexual desires in the way we want to. Everyone has different desires, everyone has different ways of feeling, and we should be able to express those. Sexual desire is not something that is learned or taught. It's something that is just within us when we are born. And if we can't accept that, then why is it even something that we would do? People should be able to, if they have fetishes, be able to crave those and satisfy those fetishes that they enjoy. You see it in pornography as well. You see certain fetishes that you're just kind of like, what? People actually like that? Yeah, people actually like that. And there's nothing that's wrong with that. If that's what they like, that's what they like. Pornography shows us just so much power over women, and it kind of is discouraging as a woman to see that and think that that's what men want. You think that's what men want, but they don't. It's going back to both, yes, that you're showing that, but it's also not a norm. So where do you fall if you like that or if you want to do that? You're either going to be looked down upon if you fulfill that desire, or looked at differently. People won't like it, which is not okay as well. You want to be happy in your body, want to be able to put out the sexual desires that you want. Just because someone has power over you doesn't mean that you shouldn't fulfill those desires as well. We can also look back to the 50s, the 80s, the 70s, all of the different time eras that the Rubin Gale article talked about, of how things that were different then, things that were banned or outlawed, like conception and prostitution. Granted, prostitution is still outlawed, but it was trying to show that things that were against the proper or norm back then is still kind of in our society today. We haven't geared away from those ways of accepting others. We still want to believe that one thing is right and that is it, which is not the right thing at all. We should be more open to what other people feel is okay. We are in a different era in society now that there's more different types of things that people enjoy. Why can't we be open to them? Whether we would personally do that or not, we should still be open to it and let other people express themselves in the way they want to express themselves. If they want to express themselves in that sexual desire, so be it. Let them. You're not the one expressing it with them. Who cares what they do? If someone is not heterosexual and they want to express their ways in different ways, so be it. Let them do that. There's no right or wrong way of what is a sexual desire, and I hope one day we can automatically move away from that and just accept people for who they are and what they want. That is all.